All right, people, welcome to the NXT Battleground PLE post show. As you all know, I am Drew, and joining me as always is Jeff Lippman.
I believe in whooping that trick. Whooping that trick.
Oh, there's going to be plenty of whipping tricks tonight. I don't know what that means, but we're going to.
Neither do I.
I don't know.
You're 2,000 miles away, so I'm safe.
All right, but yeah, people. NXT Battleground just ended. Been a pretty busy weekend in wrestling in general. Last night was Saturday night's main event. Today was Battleground and Double or Nothing. But we're not here to talk about Double or Nothing. But Jesus Christ, I hate these things. Hold on, give me a second.
What's wrong, Drew?
Something's wrong with my microphone. I keep hearing this clicking sound. It's really bothering the shit out of me. Hold on, give me a second. I need to change the microphones. Or I'm sorry.
Okay.
I need to change headphones.
Okay. Hi, everybody. How's Speedy? How's Pence? The Jeep commercial just left. F you, Jeep. I'm kidding. I don't mean it. I don't blame you. I'd leave too. It's not like this is the Evolve show, dose of chocolate that everyone needs to tune into, no matter what.
All right. So I switched headphones, but
hope you didn't hear that.
On Speedy 394, what's up, Pence? Pence is I imagine the entire country of Scotland is pretty sad right now.
It should be.
Your national hero, your national treasure, is no longer the champion, but we're going to get to that. So before we get to NXT Battleground, I just want to get your quick thoughts on something. Overall, you can just be pretty quick about it. What did you think about Saturday night's main event last night?
Hated it. Called it an F. Gave it an F. I don't care that it's free. I don't care that it's not supposed to be a PLE. I don't care. I thought it was terrible. I thought 0 for 4 on correct booking decisions. Didn't like anything about it. The only thing I enjoyed might have been a backstage segment.
Yeah, I didn't care. I didn't really care much for it either. I don't know what letter grade I would give it. Maybe like a D-. I mean, I like the steel cage match. I wasn't nuts about the ending. I thought the ending was a little climactic. I know Joe Numbers, or not even Joe Numbers. Joe Numbers talked about it obviously on the review last night, but Jesse Ventura was even pointing out, it's like, really, you're gonna walk out of the cage? It's like, yeah, that seems like a very heel thing to do. You're supposed to be the face. But yeah, the rest of the show I wasn't crazy about. Zelina Vega should never ever do a 619 ever. The whole title run, the whole feel good story with her being a champion. It's like, okay, let's get this title on somebody that's good, Julia. And then the rest of the show, the main event, I didn't really. The main event was just like eh, and also just the commercials. The commercials really take me out of the show, and it's something that's never going to get fixed for obvious reasons, but I don't know why that they don't have the option that you can't watch this on Netflix, so that way anyone with a VPN can just skip commercials. But I don't know,
NBC is paying for this. They're not paying for you to be able to see it on Netflix.
Yeah, true. But that was Saturday night's main event. But yeah, let's talk about NXT Battleground. Let's see. So it was in Tampa tonight at the Yuengling Center. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. There's 6 matches. Yuengling, I'm sorry. 6 matches, which was kind of odd for an NXT pay-per-view, or I guess lately. Usually it's about 5 matches. Let's start off with the first match of the night. The NXT Women's North American Championship. You have Sol Ruca, the champion, with Zarya against Kalani Jordan. It's funny, like this time last year, or I think like maybe like a month later, these two had a match for the NXT North American Women's Championship, and that was when Kalani became the inaugural champion. And I remember that match being pretty fun. This match I thought was probably better, aside from the gymnastic spots in the beginning, which was inevitable. I really like this match. I think these two have very good chemistry with each other. Kalani looks like she's gradually, leaning towards being a heel, which I think that's something she needs. And Soul is, popular as hell. People love Soul. Eventually, it looks like she's gonna feud with Zarya. I don't know when that's gonna be, but again, I really did like this match. That Soul Snatcher at the end, I just thought was fucking sick. Like, that was fucking sick to watch. I loved it. And Soul won, which as we all expected. I was kind of expecting Kalani to probably attack Soul, but that didn't happen. But yeah, that was the match. Great match. Really, really good opener. Got the crowd riled up. What did you think about the match?
It was about a year ago that Kalani Jordan won the title in the inaugural title in that ladder match. Her first successful defense was defeating Sol Ruca, so that's probably what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
I don't really remember much about the match, but that has nothing to do with the match. That's just me. I'm not really a match historian type. Kalani's been a heel, so it's interesting that I know you watch NXT every week, and that you're saying it looks like she's slowly turning into a heel. It makes me wonder about myself a little bit. I mean, she came in all colorful with her, hair done in a different way, multicolored braids. She was slapping hands, so it looked like she was coming in like a face. And Sol Ruca came in, sort of in battle fatigues and with war paint on. So they were almost heelish. Of course, it was Memorial Day, and it's called Battleground. I didn't love the opening segments of the match. The first maybe 5 to 7 minutes. It seemed clunky. They tried a little bit too hard with acrobatics and showing how good they were. And I think they just showed that they are still a little bit green. That said, I want to say that, I don't think 3 years ago either of these women had wrestled a single match. I'm not even sure that either of them started training until around that time. So the amount of development and progress both of them has made is amazing. They both look great. And the second half of the match was really good. I like the story in the second half of the match. They seemed to click. I think they got out of their own heads. And they sort of swerved me. I thought the story was going to be some sort of, cluster between Sol and Zarya. And of course we did get that of sorts. And Zarya got ejected. And, but instead of that leading to a title change, Sol hit, as you correctly pointed out, that ridiculous Soul Snatcher that was sort of out of nowhere, and the booking of that was really good because she tried to put on the Soul Snatcher about 3 or 4 moves earlier, and Kalani defended against it. She reversed it, so it really did come out of nowhere, and it was a really hard angle. It's amazing that she can hit what you would think would be the hardest thing to hit in wrestling, and it's not just her. It takes two to tango. But some of their timing with when they were doing, cartwheels and backflips and leapfrogs and things like that, where it's like they were a little too soon or a little too late, a little too choreographed. Right. So I'm sure tomorrow there's going to be, there's going to be the post. People hate Ospreay and Ricochet, but look at this. They're going to love this. Or Meltzer gave the same thing 5 stars when it was. Ospreay and Swerve, and now he gives it 2.3 stars or whatever. But, whatever. That's aside from that. So Sol retained. Good. I don't know what they're going to do with Kalani. I don't know where she goes from here. She looks great. I don't think she's ready for the main roster. Shawn Michaels really likes the heel is starting to doubt themselves story. He play. This is like the third time within 12 months that he's been doing that story. He did it with Obafemi. He did it with Tony D. Now he's doing it with Kalani Jordan. I'm sure I'm forgetting others as well. But yeah, a good little match. I didn't think it was great, but for what it is, and both those ladies have tons of potential.
Yeah, Soul with that Soul Snatcher, like it's such a visually stunning move to watch, but it scares the shit out of me because one wrong slip and she can like fall on her neck, and it's morbid to think about that, but it's just like at the end of the day, I always think about the wrestler's safety above anything, but yeah,
I don't know
Kalani.
why people get obsessed with that. I mean, every move they do, one wrong move could be that. I mean, that's why they're in the big leagues, because
Right.
they can do those moves without hurting themselves. And it's as more often than not, it's not those kinds of moves that cause the injuries. I mean, the most horrific injuries that I've seen in the last 5 years was the one to Big E. I mean, that was just a belly to belly suplex. Chris Bay injured himself. I didn't see it. I mean, you see a couple of knees buckle and things like that on routine, planting of your foot. Most recently Zoe Starks. I can think of Santana, Eddie Kingston. There's stuff happens. Knees tear. And people like to say, "Oh, Shotzi, she does high risk moves, so and she's got a bad knee in this." Yeah, but if you don't do high risk moves, and you're not a technician, that's sort of your thing. That's what got you to the dance. So, I mean, I think it's nice to worry about their safety, but let them worry about their safety.
Okay, fair enough. Next, you have a six-man tag match. You have Hank and Tank with Josh Briggs versus the Culling, Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, and Sean Spears with Izzy Dame. I don't know if this should have been on the show. This should have just been an NXT like Tuesday match. I like the placement of the match at least because it got the audience down. Because the fans are hot after the first match. Not a bad match, but I just don't know if it should have been on the show tonight. But Hank and Tank won the match after Inamura came back and reunited with Briggs. So yeah,
They won before Inamura came back.
I'm sorry.
They won before Inamura came back. Inamura came back after the Culling was beating them, and it was 4-on-3, and Inamura even the odds, but of course one of the 4-on-3 was Izzy Dane, so it became 4-on-3. The Faces was beating down the Culling, but they won without before Inamura showed himself, or at least before we saw him on camera.
Right. But it was a nice moment, Briggs and Inamura reunited. I forgot who said it, Vic Joseph, the ring's full of bellies. So that's a thing now. But again, fun match. Nice to have on like our regular Tuesday NXT show. Good to see the tag team champs get a win, even though it wasn't for the titles. But lately they've been losing a lot of matches. Granted, non-title matches, but I don't really have anything else. I don't really have anything else to say about this match. The Culling, I could give two fucks about. Like Sean Spears, everybody kind of gives him shit. Like he's here for a reason, that's to put over the young talent. But the fact that he has a faction is kind of weird. I don't know. That's just me. But what'd you think about the match?
I mean, I sort of agree with a lot of what you said on that, though I'm not upset. I don't really know why it was PLE either. It wasn't really a big story. The thing was kind of rushed. And by the way, if anybody held me to my predictions on this card, I mean, I would have no business being on a review show because my predictions were terrible. And I didn't understand the story here at all. I mean, I barely understood the assignment. Usually, when there's tag team champs in a match where their titles aren't on the line, Wrestling 101 is that they lose, so that you have another team then claiming that they have a shot for the title, and then you put that on TV or whatever. I have been very critical of Hank and Tank. I haven't really liked them. They remind me of sort of like 80s cartoonish wrestling. If kids still watch wrestling, they'd be for kids, but kids don't watch wrestling anymore. But I want to give them credit where they're due. It helps that they wore shirts, especially Hank. But they've gotten a lot better, and they work together well as a team, and their penultimate move and their finisher are good. So I thought this match, I wasn't expecting anything. I had very low expectations. I thought this was filler. But I thought it was very good. I was surprised. The only reason I can think that this was put on a PLE is because the story has been out the last 3 or 4 weeks, that the relationship between WWE and Noah fell apart. Well, in motors from Noah, so obviously it hasn't completely fallen apart. So it's like they leaked false information to the dirt sheets again. The dirt sheets, they report things like they're in the know, and I'm sure that there's like 0.5% of wrestling fans that actually follow Noah in North America, but most of the people are faking it. And so they didn't know, they don't have any information, so they believed it. So this was a swerve, a complete swerve. So it was a happy moment. I did not realize that the story the story we were paying attention to is that Josh Briggs has no friends, but now it turns out he does have friends. He's made new friends, and they're better friends. The culling is starting to look a little bit like Dungeon Doom. I don't understand sort of this WWE obsession of the last couple of years to create factions only to have the talent lose. I mean, you should create factions for that to be the reason they win, to protect the faces, and and then they even the odds, and then the factions bring in more heels to Otherwise, you risk having a Dungeon of Doom kind of thing. But that said, Sean Spears is there to be a player coach. I think he's doing fine. I sort of like this guy Nico. He seems like someone that like in 1985 he'd be, or probably to 1995, somebody would be walking him in with like a dog collar and a chain, and he'd be acting like he's a feral bulldog man, like Mick Belker from Hill Street Blues. He should be doing an unhinged violence thing, like Sabu kind of thing. Brooks Jensen, God bless him. I know his father is Bull Buchanan or whatever, but I don't know how he still has a job. I don't see anything in the guy. Izzy Dane, I like Izzy Dane. So I like to move. I like the boot to Brooks, to Briggs and Son. I like Briggs. I mean, I think there's a lot to him. I think that they missed an opportunity, or I think the writing was already on the wall. I just didn't see it. But when JBL was sort of hanging around and Dijak was still there, and they were looking at each other, I thought that would have made a good Twin Towers tag team, with JBL sort of being their manager. That could have been interesting, but it was not to be. And we all know what happened to Dijak, who's doing pretty well. I mean, he's not quite Cardone in it, but he's making a name for himself on the Indies. He's doing well. He hasn't faded away. Anyway, talking a lot about a 6-man match, but like I said, it surprised me, and it was fun. I actually really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, same here. I like the ending of the match. Next is you have a singles match.
You like your feel-good stories. You like your happy endings.
Yeah, I'm fine with feel-good stories. I'm not opposed to them.
Well, in the end, Drew, you're a nice boy.
I'm not always nice. You should know this.
You say you're not, but you are.
I am pure evil.
No, friend. You're not. All right, you are. Sorry, I don't want to kill your app in front of all your friends.
Next is you have a singles match with Channing Stacks Lorenzo versus Tony D'Angelo. This match felt long. I like it.
It's slow.
It's slow. Again, I got nothing against methodical wrestling matches, but this just felt slow. Like you said, the pacing was off. I'm assuming this is the first time these two have ever actually had a wrestling match against each other, as opposed to being in a tag team, because they do not have good chemistry at all. I thought the ending was a little weird and anticlimactic with who's the lawyer guy? Forget his
Luca
name.
Crucifino.
Luca, there you go. I thought it was weird that he just came out and stood there and didn't really do anything, and then he inadvertently caused a distraction for Channing to kick Tony in the balls and pin him. I've seen in the last 4 or 5 days, I've seen way too many nut shots from heels. I mean, heels, please find another way to do things. Scripted, which I don't want, there's no spoilers on a review show really, but I mean, I just had it. I'm not interested in nut shots anymore. Okay, that should be the title for tonight's episode. I'm not interested.
You really should. You should clip that and use that against me. Like whenever I say something stupid, you should go. Whatever I just said. I don't
uh,
want to say it again to give you a second chance.
oh man, I'm gonna hold on to that one, Jeffy. But
I don't
yeah,
blame you. I would too.
I agree
Someone
with
who's
you.
pure evil.
Oh man, but yeah, I agree with you. Like if you're gonna be a heel, there's like so many other heel things you can do, like a back raking or a thumb to the eye, or just little things. Like kicking someone in the nuts is like the equivalent of yelling fire in a packed movie theater. It's just like it's cheap heat and
Just play it out.
it's lazy. Like Cornette would say, lazy booking.
And
Um,
it's more than that because it's double lazy because Sean knows that's what Paul is doing for this entire Cena run.
yeah, the Cena thing. Let's kind of go off topic for a little bit and we'll come back. Yeah, the Cena thing. I've enjoyed parts of it, but Cena hasn't really done anything to really solidify himself as a heel, other than tell the fans that he hates them and they stink, and kicking Cody and R-Truth in the balls. Like last night really should have been his mark on being a heel. Like he should have just beat the ever living dog shit out of Truth. Instead, he just kicks him in the balls and leaves. It's just like,
Yeah.
mm, I don't know.
And again, I barely watch the main roster. I mean, I do the SmackDown review show, so people probably heard, but Cena's not really been on there very much. I agree. The Cena thing, I thought it was interesting in the beginning. I, like everyone else, didn't like the Travis Scott thing. I did not try to make excuses for it like a lot of people did. I did try to give The Rock the benefit of the doubt. I didn't think he was, jacking everything. I didn't think he was doing it last year because everything last year seemed to work out exactly storybook way, the way they would have wanted it to with both nights. But I'm not sure if they just got lucky or more creative last year, but I'm pretty sure this year he has been hijacking things because there's no way that he was not supposed to be part of this or that he was supposed to be part of it in the first place. Cena is very robotic, and there's been part of it so I've enjoyed. Like in the beginning, I thought he should come out totally as Hollywood Cena and with his hair slicked back, and maybe wearing sunglasses, and maybe having a valet and bodyguards and whatever. And when he came out, wearing his same outfit but with the belt backwards in distress and doing the thing with the towel behind him, I get the commercialization. They want to sell those shirts in every arena, but in the beginning, I'm like, okay, this is sort of interesting. And he's moving really slowly, and he kept correcting the ring announcer. Of course, he didn't do it to Lillian Garcia, so I mean, a heel wouldn't care that it's Lillian Garcia; they would do it anyway. But yeah, other than, I mean, he has been doing heel stuff. He's wrestling slow. He uses the belt. He kicks people in the nuts. I don't think he's, I'm not sure he's poked anyone in the eye or raked the back yet, but it feels very robotic. And I think this is where their penchant to release people like crazy and have a very thin bench hurts them, because I think this would be a great place. Like if for instance, just for example, I'm not suggesting they'd really be the right ones, but I don't want to just name random names. So I'm going to say the faction Deep State. If the faction Deep State was his heavies, like I think that would make sense. And now I'm going back to what I felt originally, that what he's doing now is dull, and he should have done Hollywood Cena, but it's too late to do it now, or corporate Cena, or whatever. I mean, I don't mind that. I like the I'm the last real world champion. I like that, I'm trying to ruin wrestling for you because, you were terrible to me. All that's fine, but the whole thing just feels plodding, ponderous, and cumbersome, which is a good segue back into this match, because I felt exactly like I don't mind methodical wrestling either. I mean, we can fast forward 2 matches to Obafemi, a methodical power wrestler. But this was a grudge match, and this was a blood feud grudge match, a intra-crime family mob hostile takeover, boss trying to take on his usurper, and they're doing mostly rest holds. And what's his name, Stacks? He's controlling most of the match, and like Tony D'Angelo gets in like 2 punches, and all of a sudden Stack's like, "I'm sorry, I made a mistake." Shut up! I mean, it just seems so artificial. I mean, if that was going to be the case, it should, Tony should have been wailing on him for at least 45 seconds before that. I don't know. I feel the same way. I mean, the only part I found interesting was when Luca Crucifino came out. And I was wondering where Rizzo was, and she wasn't. I called this one wrong, too. I thought the story was going to be Tony D'Angelo gets his comeuppance and the family comes up. Sean likes his feel-good stuff. Instead, there's a little bit more mystery, and I guess it's about putting over the young guy. I'm biased. I don't really see anything in Chaz. I don't see any charisma. He doesn't feel real or authentic. He's kind of undersized. He's a big guy, so I wasn't feeling this match at all. I didn't like the end of the match itself. I didn't mind the exchange between Luca and Tony. I mean, that's a little bit interesting, but only a little bit.
Well, Shanning's also engaged to Ariana Grace, so he has that going for him. But, yeah.
Is he?
Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, listen, NXT Love Island is real. I mean, good for a lot of these people. That doesn't mean they all should be professional wrestlers, or doesn't mean they get to be professional wrestlers on the biggest stage or now. I mean, I do worry about the wrestling economy, but maybe you should give me a similar speech that I gave you about what you worrying about wrestler self. Maybe I should let the wrestling economy worry about the wrestling economy.
Yeah, good point. But yeah, this match I think really needs a little bit of oomph. As far as because I don't see NXT doing blood like the main roster, but this really should have just been two guys beating the shit out of each other, and if anything, have a disqualification, where it leads to like a bigger grudge match at the next show. But next, as you had for the NXT Women's Championship, Stephanie Vacour versus Jordynne Grace. This was my match of the night. I thought these two were great. Jordan is great. I think people kind of sleep on her sometimes, but she went out there and proved she's just as good as she says she is, or as everyone thinks.
Jonathan Gresham does.
I'm sorry.
Jonathan Gresham does.
Yeah, there we go. Stephanie Vacour. What can we say? What else can we say about her? Has already been said. But I thought these two worked well together. Good back and forth action. I was kind of shocked when Jordan kicked out of Stephanie's finisher. That's where I kind of went, oh, is something going to happen that I'm not that I didn't know about? But Stephanie went for her finisher, which was was it like a spinal tap thing that AJ does?
Yeah, she did like a corkscrew from the top. And I don't know if this is the name of the move because I haven't heard, but they said, "Hallowed be thy name."
Ah, okay. But that was nice. And then there was kind of a funny bit during the match where Stephanie goes for her... I keep hearing the name of the finisher, but I keep calling it her leg thing. And everybody's getting hyped, and Jordan just rolls out of the ring and then throws Stephanie through the table. Or over the table, I mean. And she just stares
Booker was hysterical. He's like, what the hell?
She just stares right at Booker and just goes, uh-huh. And of course Booker got mad. What the hell was that, man? I just thought that was funny as shit. Booker
was great tonight. I thought Booker was going to smack Corey in the mouth by the end of this show.
Oh, he'll give him time. But yeah, in the end, Stephanie won, and she stared down two AAA talents that were sitting front row, and then they had a confrontation in the back, which caused JC Jane to slap Stephanie Vacour, so it looks like she's going to have a match with Stephanie pretty soon. I forgot to mention, so backstage, you saw Mike Santana from TNA, which I was happy. I was happy to see Santana on WWE television. And he brought up that, he's going to face the winner of the TNA Championship match, to which no quarter catch crew minus Miles approached him. Charlie was pretty much saying, I'm tired of outsiders coming here to our company. And then Tavion Heights, being more respectful, is like, hey, man, let's have a match on Tuesday. So Mike Santana is going to be on NXT this Tuesday, so that'll be fun. While that's happening, in the back you see JC Jane and Fallon Henley arguing. which culminates later on to JC slapping the shit out of Stephanie for some reason. So, but how do you feel about Mike Santana wrestling on NXT?
I think it's great. I mean, Mike Santana, someone that I think we've been aware of for a while. You just mentioned him as being one of the injuries that we saw, in AEW in a routine, just planting of his leg. I think was it one of the not Anarchy arenas, but blood and guts, but basically just in an opening sequence, like basically landing on the apron, and planting his leg. Anyway, his promo was great. I just wish that people would stop wearing that same haircut. I mean, we've got too many people wearing that haircut, and then Tavian Heights comes out with the same hairdo, but he doesn't normally. But it's like, I'm like, okay, Andrade, Santos Escobar, and Santana all with the same like man bun and the rolls, but it's like typecasting. But I didn't realize Tavian Heights was that tall because when I was at Starcast Fall of 19 and was air quotes working for Shaheen at his vendor booth, Mike Santana came over and and him and Shaheen are friendly, and I guess they knew each other from the Indies and Shaheen's work and whatnot, and Mike came over and made a special trip to come over, and the two of them they went for a walk. So he was right in front of me, face to face, just a vendor table between us, shook my hand and all that, and he's a reasonably tall guy. He's probably 6'1.5", 6'1", something like that. And Tavian Heights looked like he was a couple inches taller than him, but I don't know what I'm talking about. I liked it. I thought it was good. Obviously, Santana will get the win, but the NC Catch Crew there, or NQ Catch Crew, are basically there's their number as a faction, and they're there to put people over. But Tavian Heights is someone who definitely has a future in wrestling. So cool. It was fun. It was a good segment. As far as the women's match was concerned, yeah, that was very good. But I just couldn't get over the entrance when Stephanie came in, and then all of a sudden, this woman rose, and I thought it was Nia Jax at first, like she was in an elevator, was lifting her, like that that AJ Styles meme where the Undertaker comes up from behind him in the Boneyard match.
Yeah.
And I don't know. All I thought when I saw those two women is like, did Nia Jax split into two separate people, making up her components? And then I was like, why are two pregnant ladies there? So I guess a big difference between the luchadors and what we've come to expect from women's wrestling, in most of the major companies. I know that's sort of catty, but that's what I saw. I saw them. I'm like, who are these two pregnant ladies? Who are these old? Aren't they a little bit old to be pregnant? So, everyone, boo, cancel me. I know. You all thought the same thing.
Boo, Jeff Lippman. Other, I guess, Worlds Collide news. Ricky Starks will be defending the North American title against Ethan Page on Tuesday. The winner of that will go on to defend the North American title at Worlds Collide. They have not said who the opponent is. Again, I'm not even going to speculate because I don't even know the roster. I just kind of know what I know. But yeah, Ricky Starks came out and hyped up the match, and Master G is saying that Anarchy in the Arena was fun. That's nice. Okay. Not even trying to sound condescending. That's nice. Cool. Next is we have for the NXT Championship, you had Obafemi versus Miles Bourne. This match went the way I thought it would, and that's not even like an insult. I think Miles Bourne has a future. He's obviously very talented. I think there's something they can definitely do with him. They can definitely make him a sympathetic babyface. I'm surprised they didn't do that already, but I thought he was really good tonight. I thought he looked good against Oba. I mean, there's definitely some spots where I just kind of had to stand up and go, "Oh, damn!" Like when he was lifting him up. I thought it was really impressive. Oba, I remember saying before that I wasn't too nuts about him selling for guys that are smaller than him. Now, I'm amazed by how well that Oba bumps around and sells for guys that are smaller than him. So I commend him for that. He's very underrated at selling. Um, but yeah, Oba got the win as everyone all expected. Pretty much dominating in the first half of the match, and then Miles getting a breath of second life during the match, looking like he was going to win. He actually kicked out of Oba's finishing move, and then of course later on Oba got the win. But yeah, that's about it. What did you think about the match?
Well, like you said, it went pretty much the way that I expected it, and I'm not thrilled with that, but I'm not surprised. I mean, Miles Bourne is a good-looking kid, meaning he's good-looking, and he's also a baby face. He's a good-looking baby face. He's too slight for me. He's too skinny for me to take seriously. Obviously, he's got a future in this business. Is it because he's such a good wrestler? Is it because he's hearing disabled? I think it's more the latter. The WWE loves an opportunity to capitalize on that kind of story, and why wouldn't they? It's a business. It's a nice story. I'm not saying he's not good at wrestling. He is, but he looks like an indie wrestler with his size. I mean, he does look like people say it looks like Randy Orton, but if you actually had Randy Orton next to him, like I think if you did Randy Orton, put Kyle Fletcher in front of Randy Orton, then put Miles Bourne in front of Kyle Fletcher, they don't really look like each other, but it would be like a Randy Orton nesting doll situation. Miles Bourne, I doubt he's quite 6 feet, and he's probably about 186 pounds or whatever. But he's athletic, and for the generation that's not so sizist like I am, or for people who are not so sizist like I am, there's a lot to like. Yes, and you're going to tell me he's with Stephanie Vetcourt. Great for him, terrific. Again, I don't think that's a reason to have a job, but okay. Obafemi, he does. He sells well. He's bumping. I never really thought he was in danger. I was sort of expecting there to be something with Jasper Troy coming in. There wasn't, which is okay. Obafemi's finisher, like of all the things that he's not good at, the power bomb is the worst. His choke slam was fantastic. Like that should become his new finisher. His choke slam was terrific. His power bomb, I'm sorry, it's not very good. And then he did another one, and it still didn't look good. He did 2 for the finish. Maybe they should bring in Wardlow just to teach him how to do the symphony power bombs better. But Obo, he did what exactly he was supposed to. He turned around, he gave the nod of respect, sort of face to burgeoning face, and that was that. There you go. But yeah, I mean, for my taste, it was at least a third longer than it needed to be.
Pence is asking me Stephanie Vacour or Dua Lipa. I'm gonna have to go with Stephanie Vacour, but yeah, I agree with you on the powerbomb spot. Like I was liking when he was doing like the Batista bomb for a little bit. I don't know why he stopped, but that's definitely something he needs to kind of tweak a little bit because it looks off-putting for him. But let's move on to the main event, which is for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. You have Joe Hendry and Trick Williams. There was a nice little package with AJ Styles narrating, talking about the history of the TNA Championship. Them showing himself, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, pretty much anyone else who is employed with the WWE. Not Samoa Joe, which I mean they could have at least showed Samoa Joe, but whatever. But so it was nice to see. I do like when WWE does stuff like that. At the end of the day,
Did they show Truth?
I'm sorry.
Did they show R-Truth?
He was the NWA champion, not the TNA champion.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Yeah, like at the end of the day, WWE is like unbeaten when it comes to those kind of video packages. So, yeah, this match had a lot of hype around it. The crowd was pretty hyped for it. And granted, these are two guys who aren't exactly work rate guys. These are two guys who they have a gimmick of a catchphrase and a theme song, but the crowd didn't give a shit. They were, to me, it sounded like they were pretty hyped for it. You even had the owner of TNA who was in the audience.
The president.
President, there you go. But I thought this match was paced well. It was pretty fun, from what I saw. It
Yeah, those pregnant ladies weren't in the audience anymore.
Jesus Christ, you and those pregnant ladies.
I guess their water broke or something.
Jesus Christ, Jeff, you're killing me. Anywho, but yeah, this is a fun match. A lot of fun than I thought it'd be, and it kind of went the way I thought it would because I was thinking because I said this on Wednesday when I was talking to Justin. I'm like, I have a feeling that what if Trick wins? Because for this TNA partnership to really like take hold, something big needs to happen, and somebody from the other company needs to win the other company's titles. And what better than have the top guy in NXT or one of the top guys in NXT win the TNA championship? And it makes sense. And again, Trick Williams doesn't need to be champion for like a whole summer. He can just be champion for like a month. And Joe Hendry can just win it back, or somebody else in TNA can beat him.
Yeah, I think they're probably setting up for a triple threat to protect both these guys, where Joe Hendry costs Trick Williams the championship to Mike Santana. I mean, but I mean, I don't watch TNA, so then again, I went 2-4 with my predictions tonight, so maybe I can't call the book. And I think I went like 0-4 on Saturday. It's night's main event, so maybe I shouldn't call the booking on anything. Oh, no, I went 1-3. 1-3.
Yeah, how the match ended, Trick Williams grabbed the belt, brought it in the ring. The referee grabbed the belt from him. Joe Hendry went for a schoolboy, and Trick Williams kicked out. While that's happening, the belt is on the ground in the ring, or not on the ground, but it's on the mat. And a spot where Trick drops Joe Hendry's face on the belt, which the referee can't do anything about it because it's accidental and he wasn't using it as a weapon, technically, I guess. And
that was after Trick put his thumb in Joe Hendry's eye as well.
There's that. And Trick went for his running knee, 1, 2, 3. And Trick Williams is the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. The first time the TNA World Heavyweight Championship has been defended on a WWE pay-per-view, a WWE wrestler won it. So that's pretty big. But overall thoughts on that?
I mean, I love this match. I thought it was tons of fun. I was shocked at the ending. I like how they protected Hendry. Like you said, neither one of these guys is work rate wrestlers. I think Trick is actually more skilled than Joe Hendry is at the actual rest. Well, he's more athletic. I won't say he's more skilled. But you're right. They do have similar kinds of gimmicks that, it's sort of like saying people are musicians and, one does folk music and the other one does, hard rock. But it's in the same sort of, it's the same kind of gimmick at its heart. I'm going to trust them not to do like what Kenny Omega and really Kenny Omega didn't do it. Tony Khan did to Impact, 5 years ago or whenever it was. And then, have the title go to Christian Cage, afterwards. So to hold the Impact title for 14 months, I do think there's going to be a quick turnaround with multi-people matches, or at least Joe Hendry getting his comeuppance. But I don't think he's going to necessarily be getting the TNA title again anytime soon because his contract is ending. I think at the end of this year, and I mean it's all but a certainty that he's pre-signed with WWE. So I think they're protecting both companies. But I'm interested. I mean I would. I don't know if they could do it logistically, just because I don't know if they would, or they don't tend to do that many matches. But I wish that NXT with a little TNA, with a little AAA, would come here to Baltimore and come to do a show again. And I was thinking this evening that people like to say NXT is the number 2 promotion, and with the TV, it's fun to say it, and they're PLEs, and when they go head to head with AEW, they tend to sell the same or better than them. But they don't put on 2 live shows a week, or sometimes 3. So, I think AEW is still far and away the number 2 promotion. And, NXT arguably is not really its own promotion anyway. But I think if NXT, TNA, and AAA, in varying degrees, did the smallest degree being AAA. But if toured and they put on a show every week in an arena, I think they could sell 2,500 to 4,000 seats a week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much for NXT getting more exposure outside of Florida, and there was a point where they were doing it for a good while, and then they just stopped.
I
But
saw
yeah,
NXT live up in Bel Air, Maryland. Drew McIntyre was the champion. He faced Roderick Strong. I mean, we had a fun little card.
yeah, they used to do that here, and that was when it was black and gold, at its height when Finn was the champion. I Yeah, I think both times when they came here, Finn was the champion. That was when Bailey was champion. Samoa Joe, Alexa Bliss, people like that. So, yeah, it was a pretty fun card. It was good times. Um, but yeah, overall, I really like Battleground. It was a pretty enjoyable show from top to bottom. Um, Favorite match of the night, I would probably go with the women's championship match, Stephanie McCoy and Jordan. I just thought those two gelled well together. The main event, I would probably be a close second. Um, the 6-man tag, I didn't think it was terrible. I actually thought it was pretty fun. I think you and me both liked it. It's just I didn't think it should have been on the card, so to speak. It could have easily just been on an episode of NXT on Tuesday. But um, I guess by default that would be my least favorite match. Or actually, you know what? My least favorite match was Tony D'Angelo and Stax. Um, and overall, I would probably give this probably like a B, like a solid B, or B plus. Fuck it, B plus. But what about you? Overall letter grade, least favorite match, and favorite match of the night.
Overall letter grade, I'm gonna go B. I mean, I really felt like a B minus, but the end was so shocking, and I really did enjoy sort of the shtick where Trick was making fun of Joe Henry and mimicking his moves and all of that. So, and I like my little joke about the pregnant ladies, even when I was thinking it in my head while watching it. So
God.
and I love Booker. Booker T was great all night long, and Corey was good for 2/3 of the night until he started getting a little feisty, and then started saying things that were when he started saying that Trick Williams was humiliating Booker T when it was clearly paying tribute and homage, and Booker T was digging it, and then Corey kept. I don't know. It's like whatever he was saying, it seemed like he was having a different conversation than everybody else. So I don't know what was going on with him. So I'm going to go with my match tonight was the main event, but I have to tell you, my favorite match actually was the 6-person match, but because it was so unimportant, I can't call it the match tonight. But least favorite match tonight, oh, by far, I agree with you. I mean, the D'Angelo family, I mean, it was just bad in every way except that Luca looked great. I mean, his outfit was killer. He looked completely like a gangster.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that works out. But currently a Double or Nothing is going on. So, but yeah, we don't care. If you like it, that's cool. But yeah, I think that's all we have for tonight's show. I want to thank Mr. Lippman for coming on and helping these shows go the way they do. So thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome. Sure. Yeah. You always ask me, are you going to do the NXT? I'm like, of course I am. The only time you need to ask me is like when you're not going to make it. Like what was it, 2 or 3 shows ago that you had like concert tickets or something?
Yeah, that was the only time I couldn't show up, unfortunately. But yeah, man, I just like to make sure all hands are on deck. That's just
Very
me.
professional. Very professional. Nothing wrong with that.
All right, but yeah, people. Wednesday, of course, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern is the experience with Justin and myself. It's in the Wrestling Soup chat room, or the Wrestling Soup Discord. I'm sorry.
You gotta remind Justin it's the Drew Yari experience. He's been a little testy with you lately.
What do you mean?
It's my job is to be testy with you.
Well, I mean, he has to test me. I like when he tests me.
Oh, okay.
I mean, how boring would it be if we were just up here saying, hey, I like that. Did you like it? Yeah, I liked it. I liked it even more. Well, I liked it even more than you. Aw.
Good point. You're right.
You know what I mean? I hate when I don't like when we agree on everything. It drives me nuts. Like we need to
Justin,
disagree on something.
smack that bitch up. Smack Drew up orally on Wednesday nights. Get
Yeah,
him.
yeah. I tell Justin, please, if anything, physical violence is necessary.
And if RJ or Monty or Ruben, any of you guys are there, you do the same thing. Take care of them. Like all of you, be like the Horseman in 1984 and put the boots to him.
Well, Monty's not around, but that's another story. But uh, where was
Interesting.
where, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, and then me and RJ do our show, which is a Friendly Neighborhood Marks. We just did one recently where we reviewed the Thunderbolts for Marvel, and along with a bunch of other superhero movie news, and we also sprinkle in some wrestling. So that's usually
Did
a
I see the
show.
Thunderbolts?
Did you see the Thunderbolts?
No, should I see it?
I mean, you're always going to have a different opinion than me, but all I'm going to say is that it is a good movie. Like, it's not one of those things of like, it's not that bad. This is actually really good.
Okay. Good.
Like,
All right. And should I see Sinners?
yes, definitely see Sinners.
Those are the two movies I want to see in
Okay.
the theaters.
Sinners is still in theaters. I think they just put it back in IMAX. But yeah, Thunderbolts. I'm just gonna say it like this. It feels very passe to say Marvel's back because like that just kind of gets thrown around a lot. But like this is more of this feels like Marvel in like the first two phases.
But they need to do more of that and have less fumbles. But this is not what that show's about. All right, very good. Sounds cool. I might do that tomorrow if I can convince Mia Sposa Asakaria to do it. My own little Stephanie Vacour.
Nice. And yeah, Friendly Neighborhood Marks. And at the moment, Culture Attack with Ruben Prime is on hiatus. I'll just leave it at that. Me and fine.
Whoa, you got a couple of stories there. You've been taking people to the desert and leaving them there again?
I can neither confirm nor deny. But
Okay.
yeah, at the moment it's on hiatus, but we will get it back up and running.
Men down, men down, men down.
As soon as possible. But Jeff, tell the people about you and all your other side ventures.
Holy frickin' shit! I have done so much, and so like in the last few days I've probably done 6 podcasts, including, well, it's hard to say what's my own and what's not. All right, my shows are Garden of Thought. There tends to be 2 to 3 of those shows per week, with like the 3 faces of Foley, slightly different personalities. The weekend drop show usually is sort of if you turn on the History Channel like at 7 p.m. and leave it on until 3 a.m., that type of variety and landscape. The midweek show is usually sort of like maybe like a segment on 60 Minutes or 48 Hours, sort of more newsy, topical, a lot of legal stuff, like interviews, that kind of thing. And then I've got the Gospel of Thomas, where my co-host is Mr. Thomas from the Boumaye Fight Club and Major League Wrestling. And we talk to people in wrestling, often about non-wrestling stuff. And our guest this past week was Kaya McKenna, the Good Witch, and she's actually from the Eastern Shore of Maryland, so that was interesting. So I was glad to get her on because I don't know that I've ever met a wrestler from the Eastern Shore of Maryland before. On the Wrestling Soup Network, in addition to doing NXT PLEs with you, periodically I do something called Body Slam Briefs, which is where law and wrestling intersect. I try to reserve it for major topics. Not every time there's some news in the Janelle Grant case or something like that, and hopefully do a pretty good job of explaining that. I also try to keep it between 10 and 25 minutes. I do A Dose of Chocolate, which is on the Wrestling Soup and Friendos feed, and that's where me and White Chocolate review NXT Evolve. I think we're the only podcast dedicated to Evolve. So if you don't want to watch it and you want to hear us, it's fun. We do it typically live on the Discord. We're not always able to, but I think most shows we have done it live on the Discord as well. but it's not on the Wrestling Soup YouTube. It's on the Don Reynolds and White Chocolate YouTube channel. So if you want to watch it, it's there. And listen, just check it out for the opening, the theme song itself. It's fantastic. I cannot tell you how funny that thing is. And most Friday nights, I'm on the SmackDown review show. Last week I did when MLW does their YouTube releases of basically what you call their PLEs or whatnot, live shows. About once every 4 to 6 weeks they release 2 hours. Usually me and Marie Shadows do a review of it, and we just did a review this past week. So on Marie Shadows Squared Circle podcast, so you can find on her YouTube and downloads. And last night I was on PWT with Phil Marks and the Old Horsemen, George Capture, Don Wayne, and Johnny Bottles. And apparently we're the Old Horsemen. I'm the youngest, which is rare. I was Arn. And we did we covered Saturday night's main event live, and at least for my part, I was drinking scotch during it. So, unfiltered.
And you're quite a
I'm so filtered now, calling 2 luchadors pregnant ladies.
My God, that's going to be the title too: nut shots or pregnant ladies.
Well, sometimes nut shots lead to pregnant ladies.
And that is a nice way to end tonight's show. We will be back for whenever the next NXT PLE is. I'm assuming Heatwave, if I had to guess, or Great American
Or
Bash,
if you consider it, Worlds Collide is sort of an NXT show. I mean, it was NXT versus AAA, now it's WWE versus AAA, but I don't know. I mean, interesting day. There's Worlds Collide that night. I think is Money in the Bank, and then War Chamber and MLW they're gonna release it on YouTube. Though it's already happened, so it's not live.
So do you want to do
My best friend, Mr. Thomas, will be in it, and I know he lived, but I don't know if he won.
So do you want to do a Worlds Collide review?
I could. I'll be watching it, so it's on YouTube. So if you want, I'll probably be saying yes.
Okay, so all right, let's make it happen, people. So that'll be the next time you'll hear from us. We'll be doing a Worlds Collide review, that'll be in 2 weeks. So we will see you guys there. Other than that, everybody, thank y'all for showing up. Thank y'all for listening. And this audio will be up pretty soon. And that's about it, people. Peace out.
Hey, my friends.